One defeat between Liverpool, Chelsea and Man City in the Premier League in 2020. Today, you'd think something has got to change. Hello there folks and welcome to part 12 of our Liverpool beta save on FM20. And today it is our titanic episode of real heights. New heights in fact in this series. Today we play against Chelsea. We entertain Chelsea at Anfield before going to the Eithad a week later to go and play who look like, unless we can do something magnificent today and in the next 10 matches, look like the Premier League champions, Manchester City. So, straight into it today. We've only played one game in between. Well, have we played? Yes, one game in between the games last time. Again, unfortunately, we did draw against Leicester 0-0. That didn't help. We played one FA Cup game, rotated quite a bit as you'd expect. It did take us to extra time. It's a little bit of a shame given that this game was only 4 days away from that game against Bournemouth. But even so, we did get a 2-1 win, which puts us in the 6th round of the FA Cup against Watford, and that's a decent chance to win that competition. Birmingham actually getting to the the quarterfinals, that's right. Birmingham getting to the quarterfinals as well, so nice to see for them. But a very good display from the top teams to get this far. It's going to be tricky to win the FA Cup, but we're going to stay in it for as long as we can. Now, just a reminder to you folks, looking at the Premier League table as it stands, we're 8 points off Man City. That draw against Leicester didn't help things at all. We have drawn far too much this year. We've drawn 6 times, 4 times where we shouldn't have done. I discussed this last episode, and we lost against Aston Villa when we shouldn't have done. If you look at City, they've given away points, which just shows really that we've been getting away with it for quite a while. But beat Chelsea, beat Man City today. Could that change the momentum? You simply never know. But this is the tactic we're going to use, folks, for our game against Man City. For our game firstly against Chelsea. Now, 2 notable absentees. Firstly, we have Mo Salah, who you guys know about, and was injured last time out, and he's not really fit at the moment to play. So Shaqiri is on the wing instead of him, and Laporte makes a start at centre back ahead of Virgil van Dijk. I think it was Thursday I got notification that Van Dijk had pulled his groin again ahead of this crucial game. So Laporte makes his, I think his camera debut actually for us after signing for Man City for 55 million, of course, in the January transfer window. So you can see what you think of Laporte in this episode. But that is my coaster banging on the table, because in these sorts of episodes, you do need your cup of tea. You just need to brace yourself and hope that we can do this. I mean, Chelsea are a very good side. They've defied all expectations, I'd say, in the Premier League in real life. It seems that they haven't been as good in game, but that's just something that happens, I suppose. Yeah, hopefully we can get 3 points against Chelsea today. It goes without saying, we've had far too many chances now. If we can't get anything out of Chelsea today, if we can't get the 3 points, then I think it's all over in terms of the title. But you simply never know. There'll be more bizarre turnarounds, etc., etc. But as I said, you just never know what could happen. But Man City have got Burnley later on in the day. I will show you that result as soon as it comes in later on. But hopefully we can get the 3 points first. That's the biggest objective, and of course the only thing we can control. But a good win back from Robertson, from Willian there, and Wijnaldum puts it across to Alexander-Arnold. A little bit of a strong pass which gets Trent all a bit fumbled and means that Chelsea do win that back. There was just too much on that ball, which could start a counter-attack for Chelsea. Let's find out what happens here. Chelsea playing some nice balls in the midfield, with Kovacic beating Wijnaldum there. Good ball out from Pedro, but Robertson is straight on that. Good ball through to Mane. Mane, he needs to square that. Don't shoot. He does shoot, even though we do tell the lads on those wings to shoot less often and cross more often. I suppose greed does take over sometimes, and that was a little bit of a silly one from Sadio Mane. But you can't really discount his judgment. He's a very good player, and a very good ball from Laporte here up to Firmino. Firmino's wide, puts it central to Mane. Mane shoots this time, and just wide, but I'd rather our players be going for shots, putting Chelsea under pressure, so I don't mind that particularly. But 10 shots in the first half an hour. I always forget in the run-up to games to put that instruction on to stay on feet, because I think that's very important, just to make sure we don't give away any silly penalties or anything like that, and our players are certainly strong enough to win tackles without being aggressive. So it's not the case that, well, if you haven't got that physical part of the game, you will get mugged. That's not really the case at all. But apart from a few shots, a very mundane first half, so I apologise about that. But I'm going to tell the lads we're far from pleased with what we've seen. Again, there's only one option today, which is the only option against Leicester, but unfortunately the Leicester result did not come through as hoped. So just telling the players that we need the 3 points today just to get them to get a move on a bit here, and that's exactly what we seem to be doing. Only a minute into the second half. This could be a very good start. Henderson! Jordan Henderson, he's not played much this season because I've favoured James Milner, but today I favoured Henderson. He's going to be crucial coming into these last 10 games as the captain. He's not been used much this season, but within a minute of the second half starting, Jordan Henderson, with only his second goal of the season, it's going to be a very important one, potentially in the title race, and a lovely volley from Jordan Henderson, easy as you like. As you can see, Milner is out of the team today for Henderson. That's something I didn't mention earlier, and to be fair, I probably didn't mean to put Henderson in, but of course I did. Henderson's our most important player, and he's done very well there. But Henderson gets the lead for us anyway, which I'm pleased as punch about. Good ball from Laporte over Shaqiri, but just a little bit too much on him. But Shaqiri recovers it. Good stuff from him. Alexander-Arnold to Wijnaldum. Back out to the right back. Can he put a winging cross in? Firmino can't quite get to that, but second chance potentially. Alexander-Arnold, can he try it again? In centrally to Wijnaldum, nowhere on that. And Henderson very nearly with a second. I'll tell you what, if he gets a hat-trick today, it's going to be a very inspired choice. A very intended choice for me as well. You know, Henderson was the first name on the team sheet, always is. But anyway, Pedro receives the ball from the Kepa goal kick, and Emerson is out wide here. You do worry a little bit the fact that Chelsea could bite back and bounce back from this, even though they've only had one shot compared to our 15. You just never know. It's the scoreboard that matters at the end, not the stats in terms of the shots. You can say that for a lot of our games so far this season. We've had 30 plus shots and not scored in a few games. That's a lovely pass on the overlap to Pedro out on the wing and into Willian, and very nearly an equaliser for Chelsea. You do worry a little bit about the threat of that. We're going to tell our lads we demand more out of them, because ultimately we need to build up a 2-goal cushion if we're going to be comfortable. Firmino, I mean, none of the forwards have been particularly special today. It's obviously Henderson who got the breakthrough, so we are going to bring 2 attacking substitutions on in the name of Oxlade-Chamberlain on the right wing. And we're going to try something different. We're going to try Alex Teixeira up front. Just see how he gets on. A little bit of an experiment. Just something I fancied doing over Origi. And it might get to pot. It might not. We'll find out what happens though. But with 15 minutes to go, it's not been the most glamorous of games. I completely accept that. It's not been the most exciting of games. But we could walk away with the points here. I think we are going to bring... We're going to bring Alexander-Arnold off. I was going to bring Laporte off just because he's not had the experience with us. But I think that he should be okay to last the full game. Again, he's a solid centre-back. And I think that the cover at right-back is needed a little bit more. But this could still change, of course. Chelsea only registering 2 shots today despite having 55% possession. I think that's something to be really proud of. But a great ball from Matip to Mane. But ultimately, if he doesn't finish anything, it won't matter. Well, a very poor pass back from, I think that was Christensen, number 4 there. Back to the goalkeeper. But Mane couldn't make the best of it despite getting there. But still, it put them under pressure. We'll unnerve them a little bit now. But with 5 minutes to go, a highlight is the last thing you want to see, really is, unless it ends up in the back of the Chelsea net, which I'll be delighted at. But Henderson, central to Wijnaldum. This looks good to me. Gomez, the new right back, puts it to Chamberlain. Back to Gomez. Gomez, still with the ball, puts it central to Wijnaldum. Just trying to find that little bit of space to potentially make it 2-0. Henderson, out wide to Robertson. He's got a lot of room. This could be crucial. Not quite happening though, but Chelsea did have a bit of a chance there, but didn't really bother. But Laporte, this is his first test. Laporte, good ball back to Alisson. Nice to see. Alisson, out to Fabinho. We've got plenty of space out on the right, which has been utilised nicely for Chamberlain. Chamberlain cuts inside, shoots, and Kepa does get to that. We're going to just tell the lads to get creative, because we're getting the chances up front. We could be 2-0 up by this point, but we have not taken our chances, in my opinion. We've got 3 minutes left, as I said. I don't want to see any highlights at this point unless we go 2-0 up. Giroud could win the ball, but Fabinho very strong in the air there. Good to see. Fabinho, again, really controlling the game. Chamberlain's got a second chance. And again, as it says, he should have done better with that. And yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed from that point of view. We could have made it 2 or 3-0. But hopefully, we should close this out now with a few minutes to go. What's the added time going to be? 89 minutes, another highlight. Christ almighty. Luckily, though, it's in their half. I'm quite glad about that and hope it stays all there. But Mane shoots again. This is disappointing. I've told the lads to shoot less, give it more to the striker, but they're not really listening to that. But despite that fact, we've had 25 shots to their 3. And we've really delivered today. And we've won the match 1-0. It took a nice strike from Henderson, but that's sometimes what it takes. But 25 shots there for a real dominating performance against the young Chelsea. And let's have a quick look at who City have got. They've got Burnley later on in the day, and as soon as that result comes through, I'll let you know what the result is. Heading, of course, towards that Eithad match next week. This is the one problem with relying on other teams beating Man City. You're rarely happy. You're disappointed quite a bit. 1-0 to Man City, it finished. Burnley seem to have played well. Raheem Sterling scored early for Man City, but City had a lot of the play. Only one shot for Burnley. And after Stuart Dallas got sent off for them, it was really curtains. So in 9 games to go, the gap is 8 points. But we can be positive. If we win the game against City, in what has to be said is a must-win match now, we can get that gap down to 5 points. I don't think this one needs any introduction. It is the Eithad Stadium, Manchester City against Liverpool. We've had 2 meetings so far this year in the Community Shield, of course, and the game at Anfield, in which we both beat Manchester City. But this one is by far the most important. So the team heading into this match, there are 2 changes. Van Dijk comes back in for Laporte, and Oxlade-Chamberlain comes in for Henderson. Now, you might go, why is Henderson not playing? Just wanted our best squad here, and I think Oxlade-Chamberlain does make that up. And you might notice that even though Milner was our most important player early on in the season, I think he's going to take a bit of a step back now. I think that into this title chase, it's important to have our best players on the pitch. I know experience and all that, but I think that Ox is going to be better than Henderson and Milner today to perform the best. And Shaqiri is still on that right wing, although Salah's fit. He hasn't got the match fitness, and I think it'd be massively unfair to propel him into such a massive game like this against Manchester City, and potentially face some real nasty criticism if he doesn't do very well. But the City team looks very solid as well. Stones, Otamendi in the centre of the park. Now, Angelino, this is a player I wants to look at. I had never heard of him before, so he's come from PSV. Right, I didn't know that because he was playing in real life on Sunday. I had absolutely no idea who he was. I didn't hear him. I've never heard of him at all. But we are playing as we would usually because that's the way that seems to work against Man City. As I've said, I'm looking forward to this. We've just got to go out there and do our best. If we lose, we lose. But we've just got to go for it. A draw is not good enough at this point. 8 points is the gap between ourselves and City. It seems that unless we get a bit of luck, we're the only team that can take significant points off City. And that's a great ball from Mane to Shaqiri. And Shaqiri, the right winger, the player who probably you would say out of that front three is the least likely to score, opens the score within 5 minutes at the Eithad for Liverpool. Get in there, my son, the Swiss Army knife himself. Quite literally the Swiss Army knife. And that is an absolutely beautiful ball from winger to winger. Now, Mane a lot further back than I'd expect, but a beautiful ball. Shaqiri cut inside, mugged whoever this is, Angelino. There you go. And he's made it 1-0. What a start that is. Can't get complacent, of course, at this point, but an early lead against Man City, I would never say no to that. I wonder if VAR might play a part in this game like it did in real life. But if we get the 3 points, I couldn't give a stuff. But that Sterling effort wasn't very Sterling. God, I'm funny, aren't I? And it was stopped fairly easily. But Mane out to Robertson. Andy Robertson on the wing. Already got a yellow card. That worries me a little bit. De Bruyne, though, on the ball because Robertson's pass was a little bit poor. Bernardo Silva. I'm worried about Robertson out there every time he makes a tackle. Hopefully we can sort it out. But a good ball for Robertson through to Firmino. He's through on goal. Ederson saves. John Stone gets it out. But can we put the pressure on again? Yeah, there we go. Trent is the one that's been booked. So we'll get him to get off tackled. But Van Dijk, Firmino, it's not quite happening. But a free kick is given to Man City because I presume Firmino was the player offside. But 20 minutes in, it's been an exciting start to say the least. Fabinho back to Matip. Now, if you're worrying about the fact, well, City have got loads of possession, don't worry about it because we don't play a possession game. Those of you who've watched the series for a while should know that we don't play a possession game and that we can have 30, 40 shots even with possession of 35%. It's just the way we play. It's shots, get as many shots on target as possible. But City look to be looking good here. They could get a goal back. De Bruyne, we're pressuring them well, but this could be the crack starting to show if we give them 1 inch of space. Angelino, Gundogan, this doesn't look good for us. Fernandinho, De Bruyne, Aguero, Van Dijk wins it back. That's what we paid 70-odd million for him for because now we start a counter-attack. Shaqiri on the wing, don't shoot for goodness sake, man. Shaqiri all the way through. It should have been a goal. Again, let's just check the wingers are supposed to put this in because if they are shooting less often, then I don't know how on earth they are, well, yeah, I don't know how on earth they're not listening, basically, because I've said cross more often and shoot less often, and the message just isn't getting there because we're seeing plenty of times both of the wingers take far too many shots, and ultimately that is our downfall because if you'd have squared that to Firmino, you might well have said it'd be 2-0, and of course that can make a massive difference over a title run, just 1 or 2 goals. But plenty of action going on here. It's very dissimilar to the Chelsea game, but that doesn't matter all the same. Again, we need to tell the lads, I forgot again to stay on the feet. I will put that as a proper tactic at some point, I promise, between games. I don't have to do it every single time. I'm going to tell the lads we demand a bit more from them though here, because we are being mugged. a little bit by Man City at the moment. This is worrying me, but a corner from Shax. Stones gets it out. Could this be a counter-attack from City? We've got a fair amount of men back, but you know how quick City are. They're much like us in terms of their counter-attacking play. Bernardo Silva on the wing. Can Andy Robertson stop him? No, he can't. Should have really then, because that pass was a bit loose, but nonetheless, good ball from De Bruyne out to Sterling. Sterling gets past Alexander-Arnold. A very bizarre ball back for Fernandinho, but it might well work. Out onto the wing for Cancelo. Robertson, I don't think he's going to stop him there. He doesn't. Bernardo Silva. There's going to be room here. De Bruyne, there's plenty of room. Fernandinho, and it's just wide of the post. I think we're going to sit back a little bit here because we are struggling. We're going to go positive rather than attacking, just to give our defenders that little bit of security. But Shaqiri with the free kick, and it's just wide of the post. Shaqiri seems to be a player that, although we doubted him before the match, has been the best so far. Probably because of that goal, but he's been featured quite a fair bit so far, so it's nice to see. Fabinho, though, on the ball to Van Dijk. Is there going to be another goal before half-time? Makes you wonder. Mane, but it's put out by John Stones. But Virgil van Dijk, the solid player as usual. Back to Alisson. Wastes a bit of time. I like that. As long as Alisson gets this out effectively. He does to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold loses that to Sterling, but it's 2-on-1. A very good teamwork there, but Man City very quickly get that back through a poor pass. Robertson, good stuff to get inside with that ball. Brilliant ball to Shaqiri, puts it in. That's more like it to Mane. That's a wide one. That's very, very tight. But at least he's crossing it. At least he is crossing it, because I think Shaqiri wouldn't have had much of a chance there. You're not going to get the rub of the green every single time, so I'm not as worried about that. But with 5 minutes to go, we still lead in this match before half-time, in a match, of course, that we do need to win. Of course, we haven't lost in the league in 2020 so far. It'd be great to continue that and, in fact, make it to the end of the season, really, without losing, because that would be absolutely huge. But anyway, we told the players that we're doing decently, but we've got to improve. It's definitely a fair point that we've played well so far, but not as well as we should have done. It could well be 2-0, but our defending's been pretty good, as it seems. Limited Man City to only 5 shots. Only one of them on target, so doing pretty well so far, but there is still 40 minutes to go in this match. Very strong ball from Matip all the way through to Mane. He's 1-1 with the keeper, and Edison saves once again. It seems our wingers are struggling a little bit with that, and makes you wonder whether it might be good. Certainly not in this game, because it'd be too tricky for the defenders, because you'd have to push one man up. But it does make you wonder for some matches whether you might be better going with 2 up front, because the wingers just can't seem to hack it in terms of the goal scoring opportunities. But I suppose you never know. The main thing is at the moment that we're leading in this football match. But 25 minutes to go here. We are going to make our first substitution, and the man to come on is going to be it's going to be James Milner for Oxlade-Chamberlain. Get that bit of experience in the middle of the park. You see it in real life. Hopefully it's the same here. And Milner comes on. He steadies the game quite a bit. Man City are absolutely dominating here. And fair play to our lads that are just pushing them away every time and keeping that pressure, sustaining that pressure. Man City are, but we are pushing them away. But Riyad Mahrez is a new substitution. He could be a player that makes a massive difference for City. João Cancelo's on the wing. Robertson's not really tracked him, to be honest, and that goes into Bernardo Silva, but good block from Robertson. Can we get this out? We can. Good ball from Mane over to Firmino. Can we win this? We certainly can. It's 3 against 1. Firmino with the shot from there. Not quite happening from there, but brilliant stuff from Firmino. Great confidence to take on the 3 defenders. Of course, 4 including Edison in the back of the net. But very good confidence there. But what we are going to do is, for the last 15 minutes, bring Texeira on up front again. I think that's a good idea. And we're also going to bring... Who do we bring on? I'm going to put Fabinho at right back, and I'm going to bring Henderson on as defensive midfielder, because I think he just shores up the game a little bit. A little bit like Milner. At the end of the day, 1-0. It's a good enough result for me. It's always a bit of tentativeness, although I'm going to shut up because this could be a goal. Bernardo Silva over the bar. As I said, it's always tentative when you 1-0 up, because you can never be secure. If you're 2-0 up, you can afford to concede, but obviously at 1-0, much like against Chelsea, we just could not concede, afford to concede a goal. We're going to tell the lads to concentrate with 8 minutes to go. It'd be horrible after that early Shaqiri goal, so let it all go to waste now. But what a result this would be if he does end like this. 2 minutes to go. Shaqiri the free kick. Puts it into Joel Matip. It's out. Oh, but we've got the corner. It's okay. We've sustained the possession up in the City area. If we keep it like this, City will have lost 2 games this year to us. Yeah, that just shows how good they've been. The fact that they haven't really dropped points to anybody else, apart from a few draws here and there. But even if we do win this now, we're still 5 points behind. It's a big uphill task to go and win the league this year. But John Stones, with a brilliant run, this could make a difference. Aguero 1-1 with the keeper. Alisson puts it out. How on earth was Aguero allowed to do that? To be fair, Aguero was offside, so that's absolutely fine. A minute to go. This could be our game. It is. It was an early strike from Shaqiri. It wasn't the most convincing win, one of the most convincing wins ever, but it was a win nonetheless. 2 1-0 wins, nothing fantastic, but it does change it certainly does change the dynamic in this league now, because if City would have won that, it was definitely good night Vienna. Not necessarily now. 5 points is the gap between ourselves and Man City with 8 games to go. It is certainly not all over yet. And if you look at that schedule, we've got Sheffield United, Wolves, Villa, Burnley, Newcastle, Everton, Bournemouth and Arsenal. We have to aim to win all 8 of those games. And a title-winning team should be winning all 8 of those games. Of course, we've got the Champions League to come as well next episode against Bayern Munich. And we're also going to play that Watford game in the FA Cup as well. So, still going to play plenty of episodes before the end of the season. It's really exciting period, of course, which you've got now. But to get through those 2 games unscathed, and most importantly with 6 points, is a massive, massive achievement. And by the way, look at City's run the next few games. That could be a bit of a problem for them. They've got Juventus in the Champions League, and then Tottenham, Man United and Chelsea all in the space of a week. Let's hope they don't come out with that with many points. But let's say they only get 1 win and 1 draw. Of course, if we win our next 3 games, then we go level on points with City heading with 5 games to go. I'm so excited for the end of the season. Obviously not the end of the season, not the season end. I'm so excited for the climax of the season. I hope you guys are too. And if you are, make sure to leave a like on the video. Comment your thoughts down below and subscribe for the climax of the season, which will be coming throughout this week. I'll probably finish at the weekend sometime. But I'm so looking forward to seeing how our first season FM20 finishes. But as I said, if you enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like down below. But until the next time, thank you very much for your company today. I massively appreciate it as always. But I'll see you guys later. Goodbye for now.